Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you also. You're all super duper delicious, super duper wonderful, and I hope that you're all having a super duper time wherever you are in the world. Now, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by. And once again, I hope that you are having a super duper time wherever you are in the world and that you're all super duper well. And much love to you all, okay? Now, 3, 2, 1, beam me up, okay? Now then, this is going to be, well, I'll say a quick video. It is going to be a quick video, everybody, okay? And that'll be it then for the next few days. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, well, I mean, it's unless I've got anything else to say, really, everybody. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, yes? But there is just, a few more things I want to say. So if you do happen to stumble across my video, you do happen to enjoy the videos, okay, that I put out, that I send out, if you'd kindly like to click on the like, if you have not yet subscribed, okay, if you could please subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave me a comment, that is always welcomed, okay. And also, if you'd like to share my videos, that would be so very much appreciated, okay? I'd be so very thankful, okay? So thank you, okay? Now, the weather in my neck of the woods, well, the wind has really picked up, everybody, okay? So it is rather windy today, so it is rather chilly. So today, this morning, I've got my heating on, okay? So not to worry anyway. We're not worrying, are we? It's the British weather. For anybody who's been to England, the UK, well, they know. Do you know what I mean? Always bring a raincoat with you. Later parts of the year, always bring your Wellington boots, your old wellies, okay? Now then, there's a few things I want to say, everybody, okay? And, and again, I feel the need to say this now, okay? So I am going to say it. So if you are kind enough to even stumble across me, okay, or for our wonderful and delicious and beautiful little subscribers, and how I love you so, okay, my delicious babies once again, please, I am sending out more bits of information now, okay? And then there's one last thing that I'd like to say, okay? So I'm going to leave that till last, okay? So number one, we're going to get straight into this, okay? So number one, this is on YouTube, everybody, on YouTube. Now, if you could please, in the space bar at the top, if you could please type in surprising advice from Russian mafia boss, okay? So I'll repeat that once again, everybody. Surprising advice from Russian mafia boss, okay? Now, if you look underneath where it says subscribe, it should say Grim Hustle, okay? And that's on YouTube, okay? Now, these videos are usually only, super duper short. So you're probably looking at, 1 to 2 minutes, okay, or just over, okay? So they're not long at all, okay? But this particular video came up on my feed, okay? And to be quite honest with you, believe it or not, everybody, I do find this gentleman very interesting. I really do, okay? So it's very interesting, the things that he says. So if you could kindly please just take a look, okay, and thank you. Everything that I do, I say this on my other videos, every single thing that I ever do, that I ever send out, that I ever put out, there is a reason for everything that I do, and not mean it in the wrong sense of the word, but there's always method in my madness for everything that I do, everybody, okay? Please believe me on that one, okay? So that's number one. Number two, again, this is on YouTube. Now, I don't know if you remember, I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, I'd actually got it wrong. I said a Coltrane and I got that wrong. You see, what it was, I could see my old noddle in my mind. I could see the face and everything, but I just could not remember because I had not wrote it down. Okay, I'd looked at the video. Oh, please do excuse me. Just have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. Yes, so what had happened was I'd actually could see it in my memory, but I just could not remember what it was. So now anyway, I found it, okay? And again, these are videos that I watched, everybody. It's not something that I've just, I just decide to magically, do you know what I mean? And then just send out, do you know what I mean? I do know about this, okay? So it is, so what you'd need to put in the space bar at the top on YouTube is the pressure, okay? The pressure on the sultan, okay? So sultan is spelled S for sugar, U for umbrella, L for Lima, T for tango, A for apple, and N for November, okay? Of Brunei. So I'm just going to spell that for you as well, everybody, my delicious babies. So it's B for Bravo, R for Romeo, U for umbrella, N for November, E for Echo, and I for Indigo. Okay, everybody? To give up, okay, the throne, okay? Now, it's Asia's monarchies, okay? And it's under, so when you look in the subscribe, it should say in that box, timeline, world history documentaries, okay? So that's that. So now we go on to the next one, which is why ancient Athens, okay? So why ancient Athens was the beginning of modern society, okay? Now then, it's it should say metropolis timeline, okay? Then in the box underneath, it should actually say, okay, timeline, and then again it is world history documentaries, okay? And again, that's on YouTube, okay? Now, and there was one more which I'm going to have to I've completely forgotten to flipping write this down, haven't I? And what it was about, when I finish this video, I'll just quickly put the last one up, and then that's it, just for you to take a look at, okay? And I'll just put that up, okay? Give that bit of information out as well. Very interesting indeed, actually, okay? So, and it's along the lines of what those are trying to do to all of us, okay, out here, okay, all around the world globally, okay? So it's very important, actually. I actually found it to be very important. It was only a short video, but nevertheless, I found it extremely important, okay? And I'm hoping that others of you, my delicious and wonderful little babies, will also find it important as well, okay? So the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to try not to, stay too long on this, but I already know about this, everybody. This is something that I'm already aware of. And I was in two minds, actually, over the days and weeks, whether to say anything. But I just feel that this needs saying, okay? Because somewhere it's going to be coming to a town near you. Okay, so I'm not saying this to hurt, offend, or upset, okay? And there's been many things going on over the years in the old UK, my neck of the woods in the old UK, plus globally, okay? But in Canada, everybody, so please, I'm not saying this to upset anybody, okay? My lights seem to have gone rather dull, everybody, for some reason, okay? But it appears that teenagers, God bless their dear souls, are wanting, sadly, to take their lives, everybody, okay? And it seems that the putrid Canadian government, that Trudeau, right, and his flipping pathetic cronies, okay, are really sort of pushing this along, aren't they? At a very fast rate, it seems. Yes, it does. Okay, now, this is to do with teenagers, if they, because we know, okay, I've got to find a a certain way to put this now, everybody, right? For all of us who are so blessed to still be here, okay, and we are all blessed, okay, because I believe that each and every one of us are unique. Each and every one of us has a purpose in life. And when we're born, you know, each and every one of us in our own rights are super duper special. Yes, we are, because we can all give something to the world. Yes, we can. It's just that this has not been allowed to happen with many, and the reason why is that they've been purposely, there we go, before I even say the word, suppressed, okay, so that nobody can, you know, show their true potential of, you know, of who they are, and furthermore, you know, what they want to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can have too many saying, you know, somebody says, oh, I want to do something, say, oh, you doing that, you know. It's all very negative. Do you understand what I mean? Now, this has been going on, there we go, before I even say this again, this has been going on for decades and decades and decades. And instead of anybody saying things like that, they should be, you know, giving others encouragement, you know, to be the best version. There we go, before I even say it again. See, it's all across my back, everybody, and my room is warm, okay? To be the best version of themselves. Do you see what I mean? But not everybody, very sadly, has had that opportunity, okay? So it's always been most negative, and it's something that I do not like at all, everybody, okay? So when we're teenagers, we've all been there. Anybody who's kind enough to even stumble across and watch my video, you'll know yourself that when you're a teenager, well, it's very, you know, up and down, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because you've got all your hormones, there we go. You've got all your hormones changing, everything's changing. Do you see what I mean? And, you know, and maybe things that would not maybe irritate you, all of a sudden starts to irritate you. You know, we've all been there ourselves. I've been a teenager myself. I mean, goodness me, you know, there's nobody who knows like I do about your flipping teenagers. Do you see what I mean? Yes, very up and down indeed. But what it is, when, you know, because some teenagers get depressed. So when they get depressed, it is important for any adult who is around them, okay, who they can trust, to sit and discuss and have a conversation about why they are depressed, what is causing the depression, everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? Please and thank you. Thank you, thank you. Well, it seems that in Canada, that, you know, if a teenager, God bless their beautiful dear souls, that they say that they're depressed and they want to take their lives. Well, this is perfectly acceptable, everybody. Okay, and all you need to do, my delicious babies, please take a read up on DuckDuckGo. Please, you can even go on like BitChute, you can even go on Tucker Carlson on YouTube, okay? You know, there's many places you can go to find this information out, everybody. You can go on Rumble, okay, to find all of this information out, okay? All it takes, and I'm not being rude, disrespectful, okay, to anybody. That is not my intention. It's never my intention. Okay, sometimes I get a little bit passionate about things, a little bit hot-headed, right? But it's simply because, you know, I'm seeing all of the destruction that's going on around the world, and it's putrid, it's negative, and it needs to be gotten rid of. Yes, it does. Okay? But it seems that, you know, if a little Ben wakes up in the morning, you know, a little teenager, and says, oh, I'm depressed, I want to take my life, that's acceptable. And the putrid Canadian government are more than happy to assist this, everybody. Okay? It is disgusting. And the sooner the better that government is run out, that they run them out, okay? Because they've got absolutely no respect for any living being at all. But mind you, so saying that, we've seen that a lot all around the world, haven't we? In my neck of the woods, in the old UK and globally. Do you know what I mean? It seems very much to me, everybody, that they do not have any regard for any living being or any living animal or creatures great and small. No, they do not. They really, or little birdies, they really could not give a damn, everybody. Do you see what I mean? Because it really does not matter to them. But again, we go back to the hatred, we go back to the putridness of everything. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But what I want to know, everybody, and this is what I want to know, right, is where are the parents in all of this? This is what I want to know. Do you see? Okay, it's like, you know, oh, if the government says, okay, I'm not saying every single case, no, I am not, because sometimes, you know, one has to read in between the lines here, everybody. But the fact of the matter is, if the government says, oh, you know, go and play with the traffic in Canada, or any other country for that matter, or go and jump off a cliff, God bless, because I know somebody who did that, God rest his beautiful dear soul, God love you, dear little baby, rest in peace, right? If somebody was to say, the government was to say, go and do that, well, would they go and do it? Do you see what I mean? And they're quite prepared for some of these, and I am going to say this, everybody, right? And if anybody takes me offensive here, if anybody's offended, well, I'm awfully sorry that you feel that way, but I'm entitled to my opinion. If the parents are not doing as much as they can to prevent this from happening, then they're clearly very thick and very stupid. Just like when we seen in Canada at the beginning of the old pandemic, yes? And then what it was, to get ones to have the jabs, all these young bairns, okay, queuing up. Yes? You can see it all, everybody, and all you have to do is go on different places to find it, okay? But you'll never see it, you know, in the box in the corner of the room. You'll never see that, everybody. Do you see what I mean? You have to go on other platforms, other sites. Do you see what I mean? To see all of this, to find all of this out, where they were saying, oh, you can have a free ice cream, you can have a free, what is it, KFC, or a free burger at McDonald's, or you can have a free, what is it, donut. If you have the jab, and you had all of the young bairns flipping college and everything and school lining up. And the parents were just bloody stood there. I mean, it's a mentality, isn't it, everybody? Do you see what I'm saying to you? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, everybody, but when one gives birth, okay, I mean, please do not get me wrong, everybody's situation's different. I'm not saying that because everybody's situation's different, okay? You know, and I'm awfully sorry. I do not ever in a million years wish to offend anybody who very sadly is unable to conceive or have little babies, children, okay? I'm not saying that, okay? This is a very sensitive subject. But at the end of the day, you know, you have got couples out there who would give this is just a figure of speech, everybody, right? So, you know, I'm maybe not just the best to explain, and I do try, okay? I really do, you know, try my best, okay? But sometimes it doesn't always come out, but I know what I'm saying, and I'm hoping that you all understand me, my delicious little babies. There's couples out there who would give their left and right arms just to have a beautiful little family. You know, they just want a family, that's it. Do you see what I mean? Right, I do not mean that's it in that situation. Do you know what I'm saying, everybody? Yes? And then you've got other silly parents out there who, oh yes, well, if the government says, oh yes, oh that's it, okay, just euthanise, yes, you just get on with what you're doing. Hunky-dory, tickety-boo. And then they spend the next 20, 30, 40 years, however long they're living for, these parents, do you know what I mean? Crying over it, oh, how terrible. Do you understand what I mean? When they never had the common sense, because this is what it comes down to, everybody, common sense, to say, well, let's sit down, let's talk about this, forget about the putrid governments in our countries, and let's just sit and talk to our bairns, you know, who we've had for this amount of years, which was a blessing in their lives. I mean, it's like in our neck of the woods in the old UK, everybody, it's like that. I mean, there's been many families, God bless their beautiful dear souls, you know, where they've wanted to keep their beautiful babies, teenagers, you know, little bairns, teenagers, adolescents, and they wanted to keep them alive. And yet our putrid flipping court system, yeah, and I will call it putrid, our putrid flipping court system, right, and they say, oh no, you know, switch off the machine if they're on the machine, God bless the beautiful dear souls and may they all rest in peace. Everybody actually, and globally, may they all rest in peace, God bless them, right? The fact of the matter is this, and they were so determined to have the machine switched off, that it never meant nothing. But it has been proven, everybody, and it has been proven, and I knew this from flipping decades ago, it's been proven that if you're in a coma, okay, if you're in a coma, it can take years and years and years, but the fact of the matter is there have been many cases, yes they have, yes, before I even say it, around the world where eventually that man or woman, they have woken up. And even if they're bairns, even if they're adolescents, of course, you know, they get older. So, you know, so that they're still, do you understand what I mean? Yes. So they're still alive. God bless them. Yes. So the fact of the matter is, but it has been proven that they have woken up. Do you see? And at one time, everybody, right, this is going back decades as well. If somebody wanted to, and I said this on a previous one of my videos months and months and months ago, right, that if somebody, God bless their dear souls, if they were paralysed, you know, for whatever reason, whether it be an accident or something like that, or there was a very serious illness, that they could not, you know, move their body, God bless their dear souls, that they wanted to have what's called an assisted suicide, and where was the main place, everybody, to go? Switzerland, everybody, yes. And not only that, it was not free, and I do not mean that nastily, anybody, right? I'm being very serious. They had to pay to be euthanised. Yes, but it seems everything's coming out, isn't it, everybody? Yes, and what it is over the decades, it's been in plain sight for everybody to see. But what's been happening is, because there's too much of the box in the corner of the room, too much of this going on, that going on, materialism and everything else going on, yes, that for many, they just was not paying attention, God bless them. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But now, this putrid government, and who's pulling their strings from behind all around the world globally, everybody, right? Oh, they're really showing their hands, aren't they? I'm flipping disgusted. I mean, these young adolescents, these little bairns, these little babies, none of them need to go anywhere. I mean, what the hell is going on? So all I'm asking for you all, everybody, I can only ask. I cannot make anybody do anything, but please say your prayers for anybody in this situation, especially, God bless them, these beautiful dear teenagers, you know, who are feeling that they've got no one to turn to, no one to talk to. Because in this world, there is always someone to talk to. And sometimes, believe it or not, everybody, right? I mean, it's like years ago, and it's before I ever drove. And anyway, I've been in other jobs anyway where I know as well. You know, sometimes a complete stranger can come and sit down to, you know, come and sit and talk to you on the bus. You know, they're a total stranger and they just tell you all about their life. Do you see what I'm saying? But they've found it easier to talk to a stranger than they do to somebody closer to them. And this is something that's quite This is something that's quite common, everybody. But please, and I also want you to please keep an eye, everybody, wherever you are in the globe, wherever you are in the world, my delicious babies, if you do know any teenagers, please, that, you know, that they're awfully upset about something, or they're feeling, you know, most depressed about something, please, if you could just find that time, please, just to talk to them. you know, and even talk to their parents and, you know, try and find a way. Do you see what I mean? Because this is our humanity, you know, human, what they've named us, right? But the fact of the matter is, you know what I mean? We want to keep generations going for decades. There we go, and decades and decades. Do you see what I mean? And for those of you who've got little bairns, little babies, you know, you want to see them grow. You know, if you're blessed, you know, you want them to get to a grand old age, you know, and have families of their own. And for yourselves to be able to share in that experience. That's all I'm saying. And one very last thing, so I'm not going to say anything else. So please, I'm not saying it to upset, to depress anybody. It's just I'm expressing how I feel about this, because I know if it was me, I'd be sitting them down and talking to them. Do you see what I mean? You know, just to try to get to the bottom of what it's all really about. You see, the thing with teenagers, I'm going to end on this particular, you know, conversation. The thing with teenagers, what may seem, and I'm sorry to have to put it this way, but there's only one way, what may seem very trivial or very silly to the adults, okay, is actually of utmost importance. Rewind and start again, everyone, everybody, my delicious babies, is of the utmost importance to a teenager. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So it could be anything. It could be their studying. It could be, you know, something that they do, sports or something. Maybe they've not been able to reach their goal that they wanted to reach. Do you understand what I mean? Other times it could be when you're young and in love, because that plays a big part as well. You know, what seems very silly to adults, because to some adults it does. Do you see what I mean? It's really, really important to a teenager. Do you see what I mean? We have to try to understand, you know, have an understanding of how they're feeling. Do you see? But if we can prevent these things happening, this is what we must do. It's not try to do, it's what we must do. So I'm going to end on that part. And just very lastly, everybody, it's just one more thing. It's Halloween. Now I know that this year, again, I'm not saying this to depress anybody or upset anybody, but I'm speaking the truth. And dear God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth loves the truth. I mean, it's like all that's been in plain sight, isn't it? Hasn't it? Sorry. You know, I mean, where, you know, there's certain traditions and everything else, but then it was then changed into like rituals. So where everybody around the world is celebrating Halloween, there's a lot more darker side to this with certain individuals, shall we say. Do you see? And that's why I asked everyone, when was it now? Let me just take a quick look. When I said on the 28th, on one of my videos on the 28th of the 10th, 22, you know, Halloween, the hidden history of Halloween, that's on YouTube. You know, and then you've got the, and this was on the same day, this was a former Satanist, John Ramirez, do forgive me, okay, and that was part 1. And that's under 100 Huntley, in a, you know, where you subscribe, and that's on YouTube. What I was doing, the whole point of what I was doing, I was trying to point something out to everybody. Now, for some of you, my delicious little babies, you will know, but for others of you, you will not. I mean, please do not get me wrong. Over the years, when my little girl, you know, God bless them, my beautiful little bairns, my little daughters, my little girls, you know, when they were little, yes, we used to celebrate Halloween. They used to have the Halloween costumes and everything else. We used to cut out the, you know, the pumpkins, you know, carve them. Used to make, you know, all the cobwebs, do all that with all the spiders and all that, you know, shebang, right? Used to do all of that. But when you actually look at, you know, the other things that are going on, it's not so flipping nice. It's really flipping dark. Okay? So there's lots of other things. So I'm not here to depress everybody. I'm sure that there are a lot who absolutely adore Halloween. And please do not get me wrong. You know, I mean, you can, you know, they can dress them up really lovely and, you know, the homes and things like that and make it look all super duper wonderful. Just like Christmas. Do you see what I mean? And of course we were given the wrong date for that as well. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, in the old UK and in other places around the world and other countries, you know, been given the wrong dates, different dates for that as well. You see, once your eyes are open, okay, and once you've woken up, you're never going, I'm telling you now, everybody, you're never ever going to go back to sleep. I'm telling you. And it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper of what's being done to each and every one of us on this planet. Do you see? So we need to start to take back our power. Of course, we have to, you know, continue to feel the love, okay? And spread the love around the world and hug who you can. Do you know what I mean? And reassure those who are in fear. Do you see what I mean? But my point is, and talk to whoever you can, anybody who's going through a really bad time, because we are going through bad times at the moment. And this is globally, everybody. So things are very at 6s and 7s at the moment, okay? But the fact of the matter is, okay, is that if we take our power back, then what can they do? There is absolutely nothing that they can do. Nothing at all. Do you see what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. So I'm just going to put up that other information on that last video now, because you know what, I forgot to flipping write that down, didn't I? But what that's talking about, anyway, I'll say it on my next little video, okay? It's only probably going to be about 5 minutes long, okay? And just to please, the information that I give out, I'm not here to bore you. I'm not here to offend, upset anybody. It's just what I'm trying to do is make those of you, my delicious little babies, who are not aware of what's going on. Do you see what I mean? And if others wanted to celebrate Halloween, well, why don't they instead of, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to say that because that could be giving ideas to others who could be passing by my channel. So anyway, so on that note, thank you so very much for listening to my video. I'll put up one more, which is to do with that video that I was just talking about, okay? And then that'll be my videos then for the next few days. Now, unless there is anything, really important that I need to send out, then I will not be doing any more for another few days now, okay? But once again, thank you so very much to all of my beautiful and wonderful and delicious little subscribers for even, remaining with me. You know, I'm so very thankful and so very grateful to you all, okay? And I will love you so, to the end of my days, okay? And also to any passers-by, thank you for even taking the time to listen, okay? Now, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, okay? Once again, sending you so much love. God bless, take care, thank you, bye-bye.